Hello everybody, and welcome to the next devlog. It's been a while since the last devlog, and I've made a ton of pretty exciting changes. So the game flow and structure have been changed, characters have changed, and a whole lot of code has been completely rewritten and improved upon. It's been a year since the last devlog, and there's a lot of reason for that. As it turns out, a lot of life things happened. I found it really difficult to have the time and energy to keep working on this project, and I did a little bit here and there, and I never gave up on the game. But long story short, I took a risk and left my job and started a master's program. So, take that, real life. Anyway, enough about me. There's been some major changes, though, to the game, and a lot of minor ones, too, and it's sort of hard to decide on where to start. So I guess, as it's been a while, let's start with the big one. The game structure and flow have completely changed. As a quick recap for how things used to be, originally I had this idea for 3 segments of the game, with the first 2 being story-driven and the third being what I considered the main part of the game, the part I really wanted to focus on. This is a great idea, except the first 2 sections needed a lot of specialized mechanics and segments, and the third area was going to have a fair share of unique traits as well. And the more fleshed out I kept wanting to make this intro story in the first 2 areas with Barry, the larger in scope the game was becoming, when I haven't even started the part I considered to be the actual meat of the game. But then I had some inspiration and, well, again, I'm going to say long story short, Barry's lengthy intro is now gone. I have a new structure and a new game loop that weaves in the concepts from the story into the core section of the game. I'm really proud of this new direction. The game now consists of 1 section, the main section. The purpose of Barry's intro story was to introduce the player to the world and the game mechanics and slowly build that up for the player so when they reach the main part of the game, they could be fully prepared for what they have to do. And now, with this new game loop, I found a way to do that a little bit more organically than sort of a forced 2-section introduction. The game will now feature multiple characters, each with their own objectives and customizations to the world. This creates a series of adventures that introduce the mechanics to the player in order and allows for individual fun experiences, and honestly, who doesn't like unlocking new characters? The major bonus of this structure is that now I have completed the full game loop, sort of, by just having the first character's miniature intro story completed, and that feels pretty good. There's an intro scene, and you get to go around and look for a boss to defeat, and then you get an exit scene, and you're returned to the main menu, where another character is unlocked. It's not that exciting, but when you spend forever on a project like this, it feels like a gigantic leap forward to say that you have a completed loop. Now I can focus on what's needed on a per-character story basis, and those guardrails now are really helping me focus on what's important. For instance, the day-night cycle that I really want isn't even back yet, and the magic system isn't fully fleshed out, and that's okay now because I don't have a character made that needs to do anything at night, and I don't have a character that focuses on magic yet. When those characters get made, then expect the day and night cycle and magic to be pretty much available for every character all the time, but it's not going to show up until I have a good point to make it, and I think that's going to really help me focus in on development without going off on weird branches forever. There's more benefits too, as the earlier stories take place in fewer biomes, starting with only the forest and a beach, so I can take my time building out all the things that you'll see in swamps and mountains without having to put in a bunch of placeholders. So let's take a second and talk about the first character and sort of what you'll expect to see with each character in the game. The first character is Gardo, and Gardo is a guard with a very original and inspired name. His story is pretty straightforward and a great introduction to the game world. There's a quick briefing from the guard captain as to why he's being deployed, and then the players sort of dropped into the world with the task of defeating a bandit leader. Each character will have their own introductory and closing sort of cutscene where they can get information from whomever is directing the character to do the task at hand. And that's pretty straightforward and simple, and honestly, it works really well, and especially if I plan on having a lot of different characters, having something that's easy to set up with just some fun conversation, I think can go pretty far. Each character can have up to 3 abilities now, some unique and some standard. Gardo's unique in that he has a blocking ability that reduces incoming damage towards his direction by 100%. It makes up for the fact that he's pretty slow, and that's his only ability, so try not to get surrounded. Other characters will have the ability to jump and dash and do other things, with certain characters having very unique abilities suiting their specific character. Each character now has their own unique unarmed attack as well, and it can be used even when holding a weapon. So Gardo's unarmed attack is actually a dagger. It's not very special, but it's kind of neat that everyone can have their own specialized thing. So right now you can start the game as Gardo, go through this little map, find the bandit leader, take him out, and you'll be presented with kind of an exit scene, and then return to the main menu, where you'll find that the next character has been unlocked. And I really like this game loop. I think it works pretty great, and yeah, no, I like this. I can expand on it really well, and it's going to enable me to really kind of lunge forward with things. There's still a lot of things to talk about, and a lot of mechanics, and a lot of interesting things that I just haven't mentioned yet, like what this strange Team Rocket looking dumpster is, but I'm going to save that for the next time, which won't be too far out, definitely less than a year. So thank you for sticking around, and I will see everyone in the next one, and also the game has a name now. Surprise.